Welcome to this Hockey Inside Out bonus show. I'm Stu Cowan of the Gazette, joined by former Canadiens teammates Rick Green and Chris Nyland, who won the Stanley Cup together back in 1986, and our analytics guru, Andrew Berkshire. The Canadiens have lots of young defensemen on the team coming up. You've got Lane Hudson, you got David Reinbacher, you got Logan Mailloux. Are any or all of them ready to play in the NHL next season? Rick, you're the former defenseman. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's too early to tell, but if first impressions mean something, when you look at Mailloux and you look at Hudson, the way they handle themselves, quite impressive. And, I always talk about the confidence level and decisions under pressure and, bringing your best game in a short period of time, because they're all been hyped up and looked upon, and they are able to handle that pressure and do a pretty good job. So between the Hudson and Mailloux, I think that they're impressive, and they're really close to being able to. And time will tell. We give them the opportunity and see how they handle themselves. Reinbacher needs a little more time, I think, at the American League level to see how the game needs to be played, each and every night, longer season, same old for a lot of those guys that have been in Europe. They need to get a taste of the North American game, and the potential obviously is there because he handled himself very well initially, and they have all the tools now. It's just to fine tune all the details of the game, but very excited to see that these talented young D are able to play the game and do a lot of things well so early on in their career.
Knuckles, what do you think?
I like Hudson. I like Mailloux. I think certainly these two guys, and seeing the small sample size we have, they could certainly start here and probably will. Mailloux, come on, he was down there the whole year in Laval. I think he certainly often you don't see guys like back in the day. You had guys down the minors for 2 or 3 years. It's not the way it works now. Yeah, I think I think he's ready. That kid to play. Hudson, for sure. I don't think he's going to go down to Laval and what's he going to learn down there? What's he going to do down there? I think at this he's ready to play at this level. As far as Reinbacher, I would like to see him spend time in Laval to get accustomed to North American hockey, the smaller rink, stuff like that. I think that'd be good for him. And then I wouldn't rush him too much. I would have him spend time down there and kind of learn the ropes. And then, when you think he's ready, then you do something, But I'd look at having him down probably for half the season anyway, and kind of monitor him and see how he does. If he really excels, then you look at one point bringing him up, or do you keep him down there close to the trade deadline and see how you're doing as a team, and is that the time you want to move some of those assets and get one of those men we were talking about? So, yeah, I certainly think Mailloux and Hudson are ready, and they'll start the season here, hopefully.
Andrew?
I'm going to go 3 for 3 for Lane Hudson. I was a little bit cagey about how he would translate from the NCAA to the pros, but his shiftiness is something else. His control of the puck and the way that he immediately got in sync with Caulfield, Suzuki, and Slavkovsky was tantalizing. And no disrespect to Mike Matheson, who's a very good player who just had a tremendous season, one of the top offensive seasons for a Montreal Canadiens defenseman ever, in I think the top 15. Mm-hmm. So great for him. But I think about Lane Hudson on that top power play unit and how they'll be able to move the puck. And I don't see how the Canadiens are going to ignore that. It's just too tantalizing. And Mailloux, I'd like to see him get a legitimate shot. I don't think him playing another season or even a half season in Laval is a bad thing either, just because he missed so much development time in junior. So that could happen, but I wonder if it's going to be one of Mayu or Reinbacher get promoted midway through the season if the Canadiens choose to move David Savard, if that's like an avenue for those right-handed defensemen. But Hudson, I think he's got to start the NHL or start in the NHL next year, unless he comes into camp and really disappoints everyone. But I can't see it happening. He just seems really focused.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised if Hudson doesn't start the season with the Canadiens. He's just such a unique talent. I also would be surprised if he's not with David Savard. I think the Canadiens might keep David Savard around to be his sort of partner and mentor. And Mayu, as you guys said, I mean, he looks like he's ready. And speaking with him after his NHL debut, and I asked him, nobody wants to be sent to Laval, but, in hindsight, what did he think? And he said it was the best thing for him. He said, I got to play 25 minutes a game. I got to play in every situation, learn from mistakes, move forward. And I think that's what they should do also with Reinbacher next season, as you guys mentioned, getting used to playing on the smaller rink, play him 25 minutes a game, play him in every situation. Nothing wrong with playing a full year in Laval. We saw what happened with Logan Mayu. But it'll be interesting to have lots of options going into next season. Well, that's it for this HIO Show bonus episode. Thanks for tuning in. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out YouTube channel. Go to MontrealGazette.com newsletters to sign up for the Hockey Inside Out newsletter. And, of course, go to HockeyInsideOut.com where we'll have all the full coverage of everything that happens with this team during the offseason.